bring your mind with you or within you, and then appreciate the opportunity we have got here today to reflect on the wisdom of the Buddha. See, as we now, Dhamma practitioner, we know everybody desire for peace and happiness. And everybody desire to free from suffering. That is our just need to reflect. We know it. We just need to reflect on this. For this Buddha's wisdom is indispensable. Such a precious. Without Buddha's wisdom, there's no way we can understand about this, and there's no way we can get out of this confusion, suffering. See? So that's why Buddha's teaching is precious. It's not because of as a special religion, but this is a special method. We get this opportunity to reflect our own mind. Our mind is within us, not outside of us. But that mind is the center of our life. Whether we experience peace, happiness, or experience suffering. So the mind is, we have just one mind each, but it has many angles, many manifestations. Within that infinite. So only Buddha's wisdom can comprehend this. That's why we study, practice as much as possible. And today, especially, we will reflect on the teachings by Gampopa, the famous book that he wrote, The Jewel Ornament of Liberation. There's many volumes of his teachings, but there are two very famous, well-known books that he wrote. One, The Jewel Ornament of Liberation. The other one is The Precious Garland of Sublime Path. These two are the very well-known book that Gampopa wrote. And today from today, for a few months, we will be reflecting on the Jewel Ornament of Liberation. Not word by word, but there are 21 chapters. So we will touch basic of these different chapters. So for our own reminding,
this year's.
The writer, Gampopa, you see, was enlightened master. He was born even at the time of Buddha, who was called the Dao Shunu, the Chandra Prabhava Kumara, a great Bodhisattva who have requested Buddha on the Samadhi Raja Sutra, one of the best or most well-known sutra regarding to the Mahamudra and other teachings. So regarding to this then, or relating to this, Buddha has prophesied Gampopa's coming to Tibet. As Buddha has prophesied, foretold, and then Gampopa was born in southern Tibet. And first he studied with Kadamba tradition from Atisha in a complete, perfect, thoroughly studied and put into practice. Then later he met Milarepa. The teachings that from Telopa, Naropa, brought to Tibet by Marpa, and Marpa has transmitted all to Milarepa. And as you know, Milarepa attained Buddhahood in single lifetime. So these precious teachings transmitted to Gampopa. So Gampopa holds these two most important, complete lineage teachings from Buddha. And he himself studied these all thoroughly and practiced and attained enlightenment, Buddhahood in that life. So because of his great scholarship and the enlightenment, Buddhahood, then he gave teachings to so many thousands of his disciples. So from there, the lineage came. It's called Tapu Kagyu lineage, which is one of the prominent lineage in Tibet. Over 1,000 years, still the lineage is intact, fresh. We have so many great masters following that lineage. And they all study the jewel ornament of liberation. Not only the Tapu Kagyu, but all other schools, they cherish the jewel ornament of liberation as something very precious, resourceful. And that is such an important book, has contained complete form of Buddha's teachings, lay out a path from the beginning to the Buddhahood. So as a Dharma practitioner, this book is indispensable that we need to study and understand and follow. It's very precious. And we have to understand that our study and practice Dharma is not just only for this life, not just only for today, but for our perfection of the mind, to see our mind perfectly and enshrine in the foundation of the wisdom. So no confusion is left there. When our confusions are fully dissipated, exhausted, then we are free from suffering. Until then, we continue to experience the suffering, life after life, day after day. So now the book here, today I need to touch on this title and the introduction of this book. The title is said, Jewel Ornament of Liberation, the wish-fulfilling gem of the noble teachings. See, so in Tibetan, the title touches from this way: the noble teachings, like the wish-fulfilling gem, the jewel ornament of liberation. See, so noble teachings. This in Sanskrit, it is translated this way: Satta Dharma. Satta Dharma means noble, pure, holy, or perfect. So the teaching means Dharma. So Buddha's teaching, and this especially this book here, very beautifully made this title, The Noble Teaching. So the Dharma, the two things we have to understand now. First, we read the book, make sure that we understood, contemplate. That's called study and understanding. First, we study, then understand, contemplate, make sure we understood. Then next, the second one is to put into practice. Put into practice, there are two things you see, karma abiding, samadhi, and the wisdom, see, to digest that what we understood, to realize that we understood, or to experience these teachings. Without practice, we cannot digest, we cannot get much benefit. So that means, what that means is to take care of all our mental afflictions, mental confusions. Our confusion just continues day after day, life after life, you see. So there's no end of confusion. There's no end of problem because we didn't practice enough. If we put into practice Dharma teachings, then there is opportunity. Our confusion can be exhausted, purified. So these two, the karma abiding, meditation practice, and experiencing special insight. So through this, we get all the opportunity to uproot our mental afflictions, mental confusion. So this is very important. So this is called noble teachings. See, it's not somewhere outside. It's not something mythical, no, or hidden somewhere, but it's within in the mind, our mind. So Dharma teaching is taught directly we to perceive ourselves, to make our life better, to make the world better. See, all you can see in the world, all the problem, confusion, the violence is there because of our mental confusion. When the mind is confused, mind is kind of encroached with this mental confusion, then all the problem is manifest. No? Within the society, in the country, in the world, no? Then there's a famine, there's a war, there's climate problems, all the manifestation of the confusion, mental afflictions. So we better have to resolve these problems within the mind. That's called Dharma practice. So since the Dharma teaching is perfect, since Dharma is pure, since the Dharma is total peace, we can make it that way, make our mind peace, a peaceful mind, make our mind perfect. All the confusion dissolve into the emptiness. So that's the teaching, it's called the noble teachings. So this teaching is like the wish-fulfilling gem. Wish-fulfilling gem is like a diamond, a very precious, very prized, expensive. So that you see, One who has that person is called rich. So when we have the Dharma teachings of the study, understanding, and meditation practice, that person is rich. Rich not because of the wealth, but rich because of the wisdom. Has the total happiness, total joy. That's the rich. And that has the appreciation. No, it has all the contentment, the wealth of the contentment within him. So that's why it's called the wish fulfilling jewel. Our wish is for peace and happiness. That is fulfilled by the study and practice of this Dharma teachings. See, so that's the meaning of this, the wish fulfilling gem of the noble teachings. So now this teaching is not just for this life's peace and happiness, but it helps to free from the samsara. That's called the jewel ornament of liberation. No? See, in Tibetan, Tamje Yeshinki Nobo Rinpoche says, Tarpa Rinpoche Gen, Tarpa Rinpoche Gen. Tarpa is liberation. And Rinpoche is dual ornament. Gen. The ornament is a gen. So this is not just only in the samsara, but how to free from samsara. Liberation. Now you see there are 3 types of liberation. The Sharavaka's liberation, Partik Buddha's liberation, Bodhisattva's liberation. Here is, you see, the liberation.
Không nha, sống bao giờ đúng 13 là nó được biệt danh là
not just Partik Buddha or Sharavaka's liberation, but the Bodhisattva's liberation is Buddhahood, to achieve Buddhahood. So this is just I wanted to touch a basic meaning of the title of this book. Then I want to go to the I want to go to this paying homage of this now, paying homage to the Buddha Dhamma Sangam by the writer. So I fostered to the noble Manjushri in youthful form. Now here's especially he paying homage to Manjushri. You see, Manjushri, as everybody knows, Manjushri is the wisdom deity. We in the samsara, we are wandering in the samsara due to the ignorance. So the direct antidote for the ignorance is the wisdom. So there's the writer pay homage to Manjushri so that we all develop wisdom to comprehend our ignorance, cut the root of the ignorance. So pay homage to Manjushri. Then next, I pay homage to the victorious ones, means all the Buddhas of the 3 times. Their followers means those Buddhas follower Bodhisattvas from first Bhumi to the 10th Bhumi. Then a beginner Bodhisattvas, those who are in the path of accumulations, path of preparations. The beginners, all the Bodhisattvas are the direct follower of the Buddha. Then as well, the Sharavakas, like say Shariputra, Mongoliana, those great Sharavakas, Arhats and Partik Buddhas. So these are called their followers of the Sanghas. And holy Dharma that Buddha taught, the teachings, that what, as I mentioned, that we study, practice. So these are three jewels: Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. See, the Buddha became Buddha because of the Dharma study practice. Buddha has perfected. In other words, Buddha purified all the obscurations, mental confusions, and brought the ultimate peace within. It's called undefiled peace, unafflicted peace within. And their followers, all the Buddha's followers, Sangha, the Sharavakas, Patik Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they achieved their state through the study and practice the Dharma. So these are such precious thing. We take refuge in the Buddha because Buddha taught all those teachings. Then we take refuge in the Sangha, means I study, practice the Dharma. There's no one else we can take refuge in the samsara. We only take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, see, and the Sangha, those great practitioners. So of course, there are so many things we can say about, but just briefly about that. Then they said, and to the lamas who are their foundations. Lama means great masters. In our lineage, we see, we have like Nagarjuna, you see, Asanga, Adisha, and then Yelopa, Naropa. Relation to this, like Gampopa, those are the great masters. Now, through their teachings, then produced Buddha. They teach Dharma teachings, or they taught Dharma teachings. And then their great practitioners are produced. So they are foundation. So I pay homage to all this. See, then the next, I'll write something like that. This noble teaching, which is like the wish-fulfilling jewel, will be written for the benefit of myself and others by depending on the kindness of Mila and Atisha. See, so this Gampopa saying, I will write this very important teaching, first of all, to remind himself continuously to refresh that what he has enlightened, that he has achieved. And then especially for the benefit of the sentient beings. He wrote through this bodhicitta. His bodhicitta was like this space, all pervading. It's very pervasive, his mind, pervaded to all the sentient beings. His concern to the sentient being is so much that nobody can measure. So that you see, I write this. So since he wrote this, see, for 1,000 years, how many people have got benefit from this? Immense. How many are free from samsara? Countless. See, we should appreciate this, that such an important text that he wrote. Please don't think that I understood Jewel Ornament of Liberation. You may have some wisdom, but not the depth. It's unfathomable. It has vast meaning and profound meaning. So that he received the lineage from Milarepa and Kadamba through the Atisha. So since he got those wisdom from these very important lineage, he put together and then wrote this precious book. So first, I just want to say a few words about this, how he paid homage. And next, the introduction. Now, this here introduction has very important point. We should understand why we need to study, practice Dharma, not just a religious training or some kind of like a reading novel books, but something we should take very seriously. So here he said, in general, all phenomena are included in the two categories of samsara and nirvana. First of all, this is very important. In general, all phenomena means all that exist in the universe, both samsara, nirvana. So phenomena here in Tibetan, they call chö, dharma, phenomena. So in that, there is a samsaric phenomena and the nirvana phenomena. And you can say the two truths, the ultimate truth and relative truth. The absolute truth is the Buddhahood, connection to this, Arahat, and Pratik Buddha. And relative truth in the samsara. See, so those two truths. That, having said that, these two, the samsara and the nirvana, you see, the nirvana is absolute truth and samsara is relative truth. So this he put all things into these two very important points. All the phenomena, that phenomenon is, as you have heard of, one hand, two sides. A coin, two sides of coin, like that. Now that, see, that which is called samsara is empty by nature. You see, the nature of the samsara is empty. It's empty doesn't mean nothing. Here, empty means no independent entity. Nothing stands permanent. All are illusory nature. All are keep changing. Doesn't stay by itself. Like say, like my hand. Like my hand, look at, see, I say, this is my hand. But you investigate my hand, skin, bone, flesh, all this, I cannot find a one independent hand. But still I have pain. Still I have the hand. If there's a pain, I really feel the pain. I say, it hurts my hand. So, but its nature itself is emptiness. So like this, all this in our life, in the samsara, the phenomena that we are relating, the nature itself is emptiness. See, so empty by nature is by nature. There's no ultimate something exists in samsara. It's all within in the emptiness. So then what says the confusion projection? Then what is samsara is? It's a confused projection. Means confused mental formation. The mind in the samsara is confused. Confused means, you see, my whole body here I have. I'm holding this as a solid, one independent entity. But in reality, it's not one solid. is the combination of many dust particles, and I have not realized that. No. Then I have this as a I myself. Something self is independent, exist. But if I investigate where's myself, I don't find myself within in the body, outside the body, in between. So that's why it's called the confused mind, the confusion, the confused projection. All these things, what I projecting, reflecting, I see something is real, permanent, but there's nothing. All are just manifestation, just reflection. So that's what's called is known confused projection. Because I'm confused, then its defining characteristic, the characteristics of the confusion is suffering. Is that it's manifest as a suffering. Suffering, we are suffering due to the confusion, by kind of wrong interaction. That's you see. That's the samsara. So it's very important we reflect on this first. This is the one that we have to purify, need to purify. Now next, that which is called nirvana is also empty by nature. So same as samsara is empty by nature, nirvana is also empty by nature. Being in the state of the emptiness, both in samsara and nirvana has no difference as emptiness. Just see that. Nirvana is just a manifestation, and nature is emptiness. Samsara is just a manifestation from emptiness. The nature is emptiness. See? But all the confused projections are exhausted and dissipated. That's what's called nirvana. The confusion that we have in the samsara, that are all exhausted and dissipated. So these two are very important. So you see, exhaustion and dissipation. First, this mental confusion, exhaustion means all these are mental afflictions, our ignorance, attachment, aversion, pride, jealousy, self-grasping, all these, our confusions are exhausted because of the great wisdom. Then, after exhaustion, the leftover, the habits need to also be purified because we are so habituated. Even though we may realize emptiness, still you may see there's a habit of grasping that need to be dissipated, polished, purified. So because of that, the exhaustion and the dissipation of this confusion, its defining characteristic is freedom from all sufferings. See, now, suffering is no longer exist. There's no cause of suffering. This is the very important line we should pay attention so much. Why we are studying practicing Dharma. See, why we need to study practice Dharma. as I mentioned, it's not just a religious training. It's not something like that I like, I dislike. It's something we go through. Our interest is to free from suffering. Our interest is to achieve peace and happiness. This is the why, no? Why we need to exhaust our mental afflictions, where we need to dissipate all the habits. It's because of I want to free from suffering. So please reflect on this. I just now reflect a little bit just to understand. It makes a hinge now to reflect on this, why we start to practice Dharma in the world. Now next is some clarification of these things. Now sometimes we can have this different, questions. What's the cause of confusion? How we can purify the confusion? How so all this? How things are manifesting all this? So there's very important line that Gampopa is now just to giving us wisdom. First, they say, who is it? That is confused in samsara. Now you ask, who are those confused in the samsara? Are the Buddhists only confused, or who are they? Saying all sentient beings of the three realms are confused. You see, the three realms, the desire realm, the form realm, formless realm, the three worlds, the three realms of the sentient beings. Everyone who are in these three worlds, three realms, are confused. That those who are in the samsara, because Arahat, Partik Buddha, Bodhisattvas, and Buddha, of course, above, beyond these three realms, three worlds. Let's just look at that. Then next, on what basis does confusion arises? These are very important questions. Now, for Gampopa made this for us. What's the root cause of the confusion? Why the confusion is coming from? All this. So confusion arises on the basis of emptiness. Means Gampopa is not saying emptiness is the cause of the confusion, but we're confused about the emptiness. We didn't have enough wisdom to capture the emptiness. We're mistaken now about the information of the emptiness. So as I mentioned, I'm just grasping this, my body, as one whole, complete, independent. I'm grasping this something, is independent and so much attached to this. Totally, I do everything just to feed this, my ego attachment. So that's because of the having misunderstood about the emptiness. So that's the foundation, you see, what is this, the basis of a confusion is misunderstanding of the emptiness. What cause confusion is arise? Now, what's the cause of our confusion? That's one of the very important questions, you see. Again, the cause of confusion is great ignorance, you see. ignorance, misinformation, not understanding, misunderstood. That is the point is, you see, when you study, practice Dharma, we have to focus to purify our confusion, our ignorance. Ignorance is the root cause of the confusion. Because of the ignorance, I'm holding information self-grasping, and I'm confused that nature, that self is something that exists within me, and I cherish so much, and I suffer from that. See, so I need to realize that there is no independent self. My body is just interdependent. Many causes of condition. I should realize that. Then, when I realize that, then it's just a manifestation, and I will have not so much attachment that as I have. There's no aversion, when negative things happen. See, so that ignorance, our study, practice is so important to relate to to purify the ignorance. See? Then, how does confusion operates? This is also another very important. How confusion operates, how they manifest. It operates through the activities and experience of the 6 realms, the migrators. See, because of the ignorance, we have confusion. Through that confusion, we create karma, cause, different layers of the cause. See, because of different causes and condition we have created, then they are called 6 realms in the samsara. So sometimes the mind is such a negative, very heavy duty negative, that result is hell realm, you see. Not necessarily hell realm is somewhere, some places within in the life we experience sometimes like hell realm suffering. And then there's Holy Ghost. Animals you see, so stupid. And human beings, we have our human body. And then full of jealous, greed, this and that, demigod, and God realm. So these are just 6 realms that within in our life. So even we in the human realm, we can have these six experiences, like hell realm suffering, Holy Ghost suffering, animal suffering, human being, birth and death suffering, and demigod and God realms. We have those things, you see. So read that activities of 6 realms of migrators. Okay. What example this confusion? So what kind of example can you give us to understand more about this confusion? So it's a confusion is like sleep and dream. This is another very important. When we sleep, then there comes the dream. No. So sleeping is ignorance. The daytime, our awake mind, fresh mind. When that mind gets leave, become totally dark, forgot everything. Darkness is ignorance, like the ignorance. Then from that, we get dream. See, so in the dream, we have different experiences, many different types of dreams we have. Now, I don't have to say so details about this. Likewise, ignorance is darkness, darkness of the understanding of the causality. Through that ignorance, we create different types of karma. And then like a dream, in the 6 realms, we go through different types of suffering. See? Now, then next is, when did this confusion originate? So now you ask, when this confusion is originated, is there some beginning? They said, this confusion originated in the beginningless samsara. There's beginningless samsara. There's no beginning and there's no end. So no beginning, no end is complete cycle. So this gives us a complete the reality nature of the samsara. See? Like, look at this space. If you ask when the space has begun, there's no beginning of space. There's no beginning of the universe. A complete one cycle, endless. No? So this is another very important. Then, what is the error of the confusion? Then you say, what's wrong with confusion? Doesn't matter. Confusion, no. I like to be in the samsara. It's okay. We may say that. So then all experience are suffering. No, as earlier mentioned, you see, the confused projection, the samsara is a confused projection. Its defining characteristics is that it manifests as suffering. So he's saying all the experience are suffering in the samsara. Now we may say in the samsara, sometimes life is very joyful. No, it's good weather, a good place to live, no, and you can enjoy with your family. We say we may enjoy going outside. Life is so beautiful. So of course, yes, we cannot deny that, but it's saying it's not permanent. No. So now you see, like myself, now I am getting old, you see, and you see the people I know in my life, everyone is getting older now, like myself. Now many of them are getting sick. Many are dying. So they are writing me now. So we're going through this, that. Then I see very precisely what this means. I understand the pain that we're through. No? So the joy, peace, happiness we have in the samsara, as you know, is called suffering of change. See, it's not saying there's no peace and happiness. Of course, in the samsara, we have to create this peace and happiness. But if we really want to do free from samsara, then we have to transcend that also, go beyond that. Because we don't want to stuck in that. Because then, when we are aging, separating from our loved ones, it's very painful what we can do, what we should do. We are helpless, desperate, out of anything that beyond our ability. See, that's why we need to study, practice the Dharma. Why we need practice Dharma? This is what about, you see. We're not saying, we're not making samsara something bad. No? Samsara is beautiful. But we have to understand our reality, nature. So look at these. So all experiences are suffering. See, so even our joy, happiness, peace, luxurious life in the samsara, those can change. They don't stay as they are. See, our youth body doesn't stay that way. We age, like that, you see. Then, when this confusion be transformed into primordial wisdom, now looks like, so I don't want this confusion. How I can handle this confusion? How I should get rid of this confusion? So saying now, when one attains unsurpassable enlightenment, see, unsurpassable enlightenment means Buddhahood. Within Buddha, Dharmakaya. When I actualize the Dharmakaya, then there's all confusions, nothing but wisdom. Confusion, the nature is emptiness. When you realize the nature of the confusion as emptiness, then the primordial wisdom is perceived or achieved. For this, we need to study, practice the Dharma, to see how important this is about. See. So this introduction here, Gampopa described, just a very short, but very profound. And it contains a vast meaning, you see. So unsurpassable enlightenment. If you think that perhaps this confusion will disappear by itself, so now I hope one day my confusion will disappear, disappear into emptiness. I really hope that, I wish that, if that is possible, so then saying, then understand that samsara is known to be endless. Means there's no way to disappear this confusion by itself. We have to make it happen. The confusion is not exist as we perceive, as we have. Without making it, without our effort, study, practice Dharma, we cannot, can see one day the confusion disappeared by itself. So our focus of the Dharma teaching is to free from the samsara, to achieve complete enlightenment. Not just for this life's only enjoyment, not just only make this life comfortable. This life, whether comfortable or not comfortable, life past, it will go away. But what it matter is to cross the boundary of the samsara. That's the purpose of the Dharma study and the practice. So please see this. So observe this, what Gampopa described here, step by step, Now, in relation to this, now Gampopa saying, please understand that samsara is confusion. You see, as long as we're in the samsara, we have the confusion. Samsara is not something that exists outside, but within in the mind. As long as there's a confusion, we're in the samsara. As long as we have the grasping, and grasping to the self, grasping to our whole being, so much attachment, aversion, afflictions, these things, when it's there, so we're in the samsara. So please understand this, samsara is not outside, within. That confusion, when we have it, that's called samsara. So please here Gampopa saying, understand that samsara is confusion. Now please understand how much suffering is there, means in the samsara, how much suffering is there. Now there you see suffering of suffering. Now there's so much. We went through like the pandemic, we went through the last 3 years. How much suffering is there we went through? No, we have to have social distance, wearing masks, and in this, the injections. If these help, we are so happy, So how much entire in the world, you see, it's not just one country or a few people, rich or poor, famous or not famous, young or old. We all go through this. And now there's a war. How many people are suffering? They're killing, Those are suffering, very obvious. You can see. Unbearable, you see. What we can do, you see. It's 21st century. How much technology is developed? The science are developed. How much? But suffering continues. So now, Dharma teaching that we got opportunity to study, practice, and purify our mind. See, develop such an understanding, develop loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta. Through that, you see, we understand everything's interdependent, interconnected. It's just a manifestation of causes and conditions. So you can see now, nothing stands independently. That shows, that demonstrates everything that naturally is emptiness. Everything's like a rainbow, mirage, you see. Look at this. Don't see sometimes life is meaningless. When you study, practice this, the life is full of meaning. This fearlessness, this great joy. The joy is come from nowhere, but it's there. And that joy is fearlessness. See, great bodhisattvas, they go through such great hardship. Sometimes even they go to the hell realm because of great compassion, because of great wisdom. They have no fear, you see. It's fearlessness. Fearlessness not out of arrogance, no, but out of great wisdom, compassion. That is Dharma that we study, practice, you see. That we need to share to all others. I also hear, I myself, not a great practitioner, I myself, not a great scholar, but I see the precious nature of the Dharma, and I like to share it to others, no, to understand this. No, I don't like to take advantage of anybody, but I want to give opportunity to people to study, practice these Dharma teachings, get some benefit in the world. No? So those individuals who get this message, then take a deep breath, appreciate yourself, rejoice yourself, and then take the full advantage. We have this precious human life. The precious human life is so precious. We cannot get from any other place. We have to have within us. And when we have it, we have to take advantage, full advantage. Not a little bit here and there, but full. No. Make it happen, and we can do that. So that's why I say, no, understand, say, no, how much suffering is there. Understand how long it endures, you see, from the beginningless to the endless. We have to endure in the samsara with all the suffering. No. So I say this, you see, without flinching, just progress our practice of the Dharma. No. With joy, with appreciation. No. It's very important feeling of appreciation. Appreciate yourself. Feel joy, Dharma practice. When this negative thought comes, immediately remind, practice Dharma, and purify that. And then you feel, oh, Dharma is the real medicine. You know? Dharma is the medicine to heal the mind. Nothing can heal the mind. No, having good lunch will not heal the mind. Having good place to live doesn't heal the mind. But the mind can heal by the bodhicitta, by the Dharma. So look at this. If we don't practice Dharma, we will go to the endless without ending the samsara. Understand that there's no self-liberation. See, there's no self-liberation. In other words, our confusion will not disappear by itself. Like self-grasping. Our self-grasping will not disappear by itself. Look at in our mind. Even with Dharma practice, for many years, still self-grasping is so fresh, if not more, not getting less. You see, that's what's called no self-liberation. So through the Dharma wisdom, through the wisdom of the emptiness, through the wisdom of the bodhicitta, we can expand our mind, to realize unconfined mind as the space. Right now, our minds in the confinement. In a small room, we are in the confinement within that. So we break through that boundary and realize the unconfinement vastness of the bodhicitta, the space of the Mahamudra. So that's what's called no self-liberation. It's very understandable. Sometimes we may think, oh, maybe confusion can be liberated or disappear. So it's not possible. So these are the, now, as I mentioned, the Gampopa, kind of information put together why we need to study the Dharma, why we need to practice Dharma. Not because of Buddhist, but our interest. Anybody in the world should follow like this to free from the suffering. So Dharma practice should be a way how to break through the cocoon of the self-grasping. So now next he's saying here, therefore, from today onward, you should make as much effort as possible. See, now he's saying from today. He's no suggesting from next year, or when you get older, just as soon as you understood, then that's the day you have to start. Now study, practice the Dharma. See. As much as possible to achieve unsurpassable enlightenment, complete Buddhahood. Buddhahood, is a Sanskrit word, Buddha, as you know, is fully awakened mind, fully enlightened mind, unsurpassable. There's nothing above that. The maximum state of the perfection. So that's in the mind. You have our own mind. See, it's not outside. Means reveal that our total mind itself. Right now, our minds are confined within the cocoon of the confusion. There's not much place to play. We just go around and around repeating same thing. Even Dharma practitioners, we do that. So now we have to have wisdom how to practice Dharma, how to open the heart. See. So Gampopa is here now reminding us from today, we must start to study, practice Dharma. Look inside the mind. Then the enlightenment doesn't come without cause, without conditions. Now here Gampopa is saying, what manner of things are needed in order to make this kind of effort? You see, what kind of causes and conditions that we need to follow the path, to achieve the unsurpassable enlightenment, Buddhahood. So the summary here saying the primary cause, 1, working basis, 2, contributory cause, 3, the method, 3, 4, then result, 5, and activities, 6. So all discriminating beings should understand that these 6 comprise a general explanation of the unsurpassable enlightenment. So it's all discriminating beings means all wise one. We have to have wisdom. Should have a discriminating wisdom. What makes the samsara? What makes the enlightenment? What makes the nirvana? So first, look at this. Now explaining here the primary cause of unsurpassable enlightenment. So the root cause, primary cause, the root cause, the primary cause for enlightenment, the seed. Then the person who is the working basis for the achievement of enlightenment. Then the person who has all the qualities, ability to achieve the enlightenment. Not everybody. Then there's contributory cause, the condition. What kind of contributory cause? The conditions we need to achieve enlightenment. So contributory causes that encourage one in practice. See, here's putting practice, not just understanding, but practice. The method of the practice. Then, what are the methods to achieve enlightenment? Method means path. We follow the path. What kind of path we should take? The result, after following this, what kind of result we should expect? Benefit. The result that is accomplished. And the last one, the activities. Once you achieve the result, what kind of activities? Then means from there, how you can benefit other such beings. And the activities ensuing from accomplishment. These are the topics one should understand. So we should first understand these 6 topics. Bring this picture in our heart. Look at this. Okay, these are necessary. Contributory cause. The working basis. Then the contributory causes and the methods and the result. After result, how to benefit others, the activities. In that, now the short explanation here, the summary. The primary cause is the essence of the well-gone one. So now in English, we have the essence of the well-gone one. In Sanskrit, Sugata. That's well-gone. Well-gone means gone from the samsara. Well means beautifully arrived in the complete perfection state. Here, well gone, beautifully gone, perfectly gone. what that shows is all this mistake, all this confusion, mental afflictions are purified. And all the suffering that we have are minimized, reduced by purifying these causes of the confusion, afflictions. So, in other words, person become better and better. You see, when you develop love and compassion and bodhicitta, that person is so beautiful. Everybody admires that person. They appreciate that person. It's because so beautiful. No? So that's called well gone, perfectly gone, beautifully gone. No? And non-returning gone. Once you achieve Buddhahood, you are non-return. You will never return to samsara. So that's called Sugata, means that meaning, well gone, beautifully gone, perfectly gone, non-returning gone. That's one. No. So primary cause, essence. So essence, the Buddha nature. That nature of the Buddha is pervaded to all the sentient beings. So we all have that. So the cause is the essence, is the cause for enlightenment, or is the essence of the Buddha nature is within us. That's the primary cause. It's like the mustard seed. When the mustard seed, when that seed is the primary cause to grow other mustard seed. That's the primary cause to produce the oil from that mustard seed. So the cause of the Buddha nature is within us, and that is the one that we can become Buddha. So we should always appreciate. Because of that, which we will not describe, but to understand that everybody wants peace and happiness, because that nature is total peace. That nature is total happiness. No matter how ruthless that individual is, no matter how stupid individual is, still that individual, even animals, they want peace and happiness. Since it's nature of the total peace, the suffering is not appreciated. So any suffering, physically, mentally, are not appreciated. Nobody likes the suffering because that primary cause is the absence of all the suffering. That's the total, since that is the total peace, no matter how adventitious afflictions are there, no, still peace and happiness, that individual desire. So we should look at this. I have the primary cause for enlightenment. If I make effort, definitely it's possible. And as a working basis, the precious human life is excellent, you see. precious human life. Not every human being, he's saying. Precious human life, as we'll discuss later. Like say, there's some of our dogs, cats, some animals, they're so kind. They're so peaceful. They're so intelligent. But still, if you ask them, you develop bodhicitta, they have no idea. You ask them, can you meditate on the emptiness? They have no idea. So you see, within the human being, there's a precious human life who has this opportunity, then can understand how to develop bodhicitta, how to practice emptiness, and how to free from samsara. So that precious human life is excellent, means the best opportunity. So we should never take it granted, rather appreciate, rejoice, make it useful. Okay. Then next, the contributing cause is the spiritual master. We need a spiritual master, a teacher who have studied the Dharma teachings enough, who has practiced the Dharma teachings, especially bodhicitta, emptiness, mahamudra, that can guide us. First, will show us this is samsara, the 6 realms of the samsara, and then guide us how to free from this samsara, giving us, encouraging us to follow the Dharma as much as possible, step by step. We need a real spiritual master. Not necessarily, usually I say high title. There are some high title who has very high title. If such individual has the great qualities, of course we appreciate. But doesn't matter, anybody but who studied, practiced Dharma teachings, follow the path, and sincerely to help others, especially who has bodhicitta, very important, you see. Just for example, like Milarepa. First, he was nothing, just an ordinary person who was abused by his uncle and aunt, tortured his whole family. And then you see, what he did, because of that, his mother asked him to spell black magic, so forth. And everybody in the country, in that village, hate him. So you see, he was nothing. But he recognized all those. And then he attended Marba, studied, practiced thoroughly, and attained Buddhahood. And now you see, and his life always in the mountains. He was hiding himself, but people looking, searching him. And Gampopa, who looked for him, searched for a whole month, and finally he found Milarepa and received all those teachings without any mistake. When you read the life stories, you can see that. So this is what we need, a spiritual master who can help us how to free from samsara. So that's called spiritual master is the contributing cause. Then the method is spiritual master's instruction. So then when you meet such spiritual master, then can give us all the instructions. Now, as you see there, about the impermanence, nature of the samsara, suffering, and the causalities, and then instructions of loving kindness, compassion, refuge, and bodhicitta. Go through these step by step. This is the method. They will help us to purify all our mental afflictions. So you see, our single focus is to purify our mental afflictions. We have to pay attention to that. We don't just only count the mantra, the number, 100, 200,000, 100,000, this, that amount number. But important is how to purify mental obscurations. And develop more love and compassion, more responsible, you see. It's very important. We individually take the full responsibilities. So the method. So when we go through this method step by step, there's 5 parts. You see, the part before the beginning of the part, then part of accumulation, part of preparation, special inside part of meditation, and part no more meditation. So go step by step. So the final result is the Buddhahood. They're saying the result is the body of the perfect Buddhahood. You see, here body means the complete, the Dhammakaya. Dhammakaya is the Buddhahood. Not just Nirmanakaya, not just Sabokaya, but Dhammakaya, the Buddhahood. Once you become Buddha, then benefiting sentient beings are effortless. So I say the last one, the activities are benefiting sentient beings without conceptual thought. Without conceptual thought means effortless. Without effort, benefiting sentient beings. Right now, we ordinary beings have to make great effort, sacrifice so many things. Still, we encounter obstacles, difficulties. No, we face many impediments, but Buddhahood, they practice this and enlightened and benefiting so many sentient beings, you see. Like say, for example, Lord Jigto Sumgun, because he attained Buddhahood, he gathered 180,000 disciples, not only human beings, even non-human beings. He could give teachings to the vultures, horses, nagas, birds, because of this perfection of the excellent bodhicitta. So that is this, you see. These 6 topics form the body of this text. Now, this 6th topic now is a body of this text, this book, famous book. Okay. And so this, as you know, this is Gampopa wrote this text, and I have received this teaching from Kuno Rinpoche, Kuno Lama Rinpoche. Now his life stories are now coming in the book form, and how I was so blessed, meeting such precious teachers. Like when you meet Kuno Rinpoche, He's very old, so let's say he old, don't know. Very simple life. Very, very simple life. If you have not received teachings from him, it looks like he's nothing. No. But when he teaches, then you can see his excellent quality of the scholarship, excellent qualities of his enlightenment. So from such kind of great teacher, I met and received his teachings. So now I'm sharing this to all those who are interested. I share this, the full text, Jewel Ornament of Liberation, in the monasteries, many places in India, Nepal, and then in Tibet, many places. And I feel very good about this, sharing this. Now here, I also want to share. Now this time, we don't have enough time to go through whole text, but essence of these teachings, I will try to explain as much as I can, way how to put into practice and help to ourselves and help other people in the world. We need real wisdom of the Buddha, not as a Buddhist, but as a human being, as anybody wants peace and happiness, as anybody want to free from suffering. This is the only way, through the war, we see, as I mentioned, how much suffering is there. Through the pandemic, different diseases, mental disease, physical disease, how much suffering is there now, you see. It's the accumulation of our own. There's no one to blame outside of us. Everybody shares this, and we have to share the cause we have created. And we have to practice the Dharma. So I just want to say this. So please appreciate, rejoice, and then just try to implement the practice in our daily basis. Means purify our mind. We have in our own hand. That is not, no one controls us. We had opportunity ourselves. So then next he said, now the lamps will be explained in details. And all the steps, the 21 chapter will explain step by step. So today I just want to say this and share this and about the introduction, about the book. Then we just first please take a deep breath. Inhale fully. And exhale all our tension. And then just reflect our mind as the space. The mind and the space are no different. No boundary. It's vast. Just reflect on this. And again, please breathe in fully. And exhale. Relax physically, mentally. And once more, please inhale fully. And exhale. Now with this, please say a few dedication prayers.
Dorje Chang, Tilopan, Naropan, Marpan, Milarepa, Dharma Lord Gampopa, Padmadrupa, and Lord Drikumpa. Please bestow upon us the most auspicious blessings of all the Kagyu Lamas. By this virtue may I achieve the all-knowing state, and may all who travel on the ways of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara by defeating all enemies, confusion, the cause of suffering. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it's unborn, made arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray that the Lama may have good health and long life. I pray that your Dharma activities spread far and wide. I pray that I may not be separated from you. As Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra realized the ultimate state, Buddhahood, I will follow in their path and share the merit for all sentient beings. By the blessing of the Buddhas who attained the three kayas, by the blessing of the truth of unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessing of the indivisible Sangha order, may the merit I share bear fruit. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, root and lineage lamas, divine assembly of yidams and assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, yogins, yoginis, and the kings, dwelling in the 10 directions. Please hear my prayer. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May the thoughts of fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. And through that, may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise even at the time of my death. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by the wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of mind as such and pervading clarity of Dharmata. May I in any case gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo. By the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Drikumpa, Ratnashiri, who is omniscient Lord of the Dharma, master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara. Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yes.
Thank you.
Rinpoche.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias, Rinpoche.
Gracias.
Gracias, Rinpoche.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Fabián.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Kankan.
So good to see you,
Yeah,
Rinpoche.
Steve and Melissa.
Yes,
Thank you.
Gracias, Rinpoche.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent. Oh, okay.
Muito obrigada. Thank you. Thank you, Rinpoche.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gracias, Fabián. Gracias,
Thank you
Rinpoche.
so much.
Feliz tarde a todos.
Mati.
Thank you.
Oh, Sarah. Very nice to see you, Sarah. Hello.
Gracias, Rinpoche.
Yeah, Victoria, gracias.
Thank you very much.
Oh.
Nice to meet you again, dear Lama.
Be well, be happy. Lots of love.
Be well.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Hasta mañana. Oh, morning.
Até amanhã. Até
Yeah,
amanhã.